This is Miss Kim of Diamonds, one of the best female entertainers, dynamic test. Confusing everything right about now. Sorry.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Miss Rena L. General.
Yours truly, Lomwe.
Yo, this is Black Jet. Evo Timothy. Farmer Michael.
What it do, what it does.
What up, people? This was good.
You're listening to or tuned into
The 5Roundz podcast.
5Roundz.
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 Make sure you stick it right here because it's lit.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to 5Roundz. I'm here with Wantali and Vanessa. And today we have a lovely guest, Kim of Diamonds from Malawi. She's one of the best female singers with a dynamic taste in music with multiple blends of genres. She's released albums and singles over the years. And with Love From Malawi EP being her recent project. She started music at a tender age of 10. Who does that? I was busy playing at the moment. And she's a radio host, so she basically loves the entertainment side of music. And anyway, Kim, what is the story behind the name Kim of Diamonds?
Kim of Diamonds. Well, my real name is Kimberly with an E before the Y. I have to specify it. So one day I asked my parents, why did you name me, Kimberly? What does it mean? It sounded so English. I thought it didn't have a meaning. And they said the name was inspired by a diamond mine city in South Africa. There's a diamond mine city in South Africa called Kimberly. So they like to call me the little diamond mine and everything.
Aww.
So when I started doing music, I had the big question of what is your artist name going to be? And I was like, I don't know. I was trying to find a word that captures my essence. And then it coincided, I think, with my brother asking me what I wanted my social media handle to be. So originally in music, I was just going by the name of Kim in the first few years. And then I changed my social media handle, or I got onto social media platforms as Kim of Diamonds. I thought Kimberly of Diamond Mine City, so Kim of Diamonds. And then I think a year or two later, I decided to release a self-titled album called Kim of Diamonds as like a rebrand, because anybody can be called Kim, and with Kim there was the confusion of what gender is it female, is it male? So bringing in the Kim of Diamonds element in it was like to make it different and to make it surprising to people. And apparently it sounds like a stripper club in the US called King of Diamonds? I don't know how true that is, but yeah.
Have you gotten that a lot? That
Yeah.
your name sounds sort of like oh really?
And how did you find out? How did you find out about this? Like, you know what I mean? This is not something you just bumped into.
I was on holiday in Houston, and my sister loves to do this thing where she introduces, oh, this is my sister, she can sing, she does music. I'm just like, oh my God, don't do that. Sisters, So one day she did that, and the person said, oh, there's a strip club, in the US called King of Diamonds. It reminds me of that. I was like,
wow.
what are the odds? I had no idea. Okay.
That's awkward.
Very awkward.
Yeah, that is very awkward.
But to be honest, that's actually smart, as in the way you connected your name and what your parents said and stuff.
Thank you.
For someone just to come out there with stripper name. Oh.
Whoa! I'm still on this strip club thing. Kim. I'm sorry. I'm still there. I'm still stuck there. 'Cause I'm sure the guys in the comments are gonna ask these questions. So I need to ask them for them, guys. By the way,
I feel like I know the question you're about to ask.
And what's that? I'm not gonna ask. Listen,
You're gonna ask her.
I know, right? I was gonna say, so at this moment, you've got your name, Kim of Diamonds, right? And then somebody comes and says, "Yeah, there's a strip club called King of Diamonds." Did you reconsider, the name? Did you go like, I don't really want to, associate?
I kind of did. I won't lie to you.
Wow.
I did have a moment of, oh snap! What do I do now? I mean, I've kind of invested in it,
Yeah.
But then I just decided to just leave it be, because at the end of the day, I don't know, it makes it even more interesting I don't know, to be associated to something that's on the opposite end of what I'm doing. So it's just like, it's something fun to talk about. King of Diamonds. And maybe one day I just might check out King of Diamonds to see what the hype is about, you know? I don't know.
I was actually going to ask you that. Did you actually go to the strip club and just check it out to see
No.
what it's all about?
Why not?
No, one day on my bucket list.
It's being curious, you know what I mean?
You got
Exactly.
to.
Oh wow,
Kim of
that's
Diamonds.
actually a lovely.
featuring-
That's actually a lovely story. I never you'd actually like come up with something like that. You know, at least you bring the positive to the name. You know, other people be like, okay, King of Diamonds, okay, strip club and other stuff, and then you bring in like King of Diamonds, something positive music. So it's basically the opposite of stuff. All right, I'm just gonna jump into the next question. Where you from? We all know you're from Malawi, but people want to know like where did you grow up, or were you like
Background.
where exactly in Malawi are you from?
I am specifically from Zimba district. That's up north. So I was born in Malawi and then we moved to Zimbabwe when I was like, I say I was 6, but they say I was younger. So I don't know which story to go with. So we moved to Zimbabwe. I did my primary school, secondary school there, and a little bit of high school in Zimbabwe. And then we moved to the UK in, when was that? I think I was like 13 or 12 and I did my year 9 all the way through, went to college, and then I came back home to study business administration at the Catholic University in 2013. And I've been here since, yeah, pretty much.
Jeez.
That's my background.
So we came one way and you went the other.
Yeah,
basically.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, mad.
Opposite there.
Do you feel like you moving to Zim kind of influenced your music to a point, to an extent?
That's something I've been thinking about, you know, because when I moved to Malawi, my sound is, people always say it's not Malawian, you know? And then it's like, okay, initially I would be like, okay, so how do I make it sound Malawian? You know, now you want to kind of like fit in a box. But then it kind of hit me to say, you know, you can't fault the stars with how you grow, you know, like in Zimbabwe, there's some musical influences from there. Oliver Mtukudzi, we have Juaniso. There's some favorite Zimbabwean songs that I grew up listening to. So when people in Malawi are having a conversation on their favorite artists, my taste is in Zimbabwe, and it's like
it's completely
it's two different things.
Yeah.
So growing up in Zimbabwe definitely had an influence on my musical taste. That's where I started learning how to sing, and also growing up in the UK has played its influences in how I write. I think that's the first time I went to the studio. And then when I came back to Malawi, that's where it's like a 360, where now it's about how do I fuse all these different elements of how I've lived my life into a sound that says this is me, because I just don't want to, you know, fit in a box to say, oh, I'm more Malawian or more this, because at the end of the day, music is a universal language. But the exciting thing for me is figuring out how to tell my Pan-African story through my music in exciting ways. You know what I mean? So I'm embracing my diversity.
Experiences. Yeah.
No, it's brilliant.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Absolutely
I'm feeling.
But actually, going back on that Zimbabwean influence, right? Are there any specific artists that you grew up listening to that you felt you tapped a bit of it, or well, maybe as young kids they said, "Look, I am not just one person. I tap into so many things." Was there one person that you know you listened to that inspired who you are, how you sing, or how you behave, or something like that? You know,
I would say growing up. Just to give a little bit of an interesting evolution of music on the African continent, or mostly in a country like Zimbabwe or Malawi. I think back when I was growing up, what you used to hear on radio was mostly Western kind of music, Western R&B or British as well. So that's when I first fell in love with Craig David. That's how I decided, you know, I think I'm going to learn how to sing using Mr. Craig David. Man, I was like, I can't believe this guy can sing and sound like this. I need to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
So from that, apart from listening to Craig David, I fell in love with Beyonce. So looking at now, this is when people are listening more to African music artists or their own local artists. You know what I mean? So myself growing up, what really stood out to me was the likes of Oliver Mtukudzi, Thomas Mafumo, is it Simon Chimbeta,
Come on.
Chiwoniso, and what I
Yes.
really liked about them was the spirituality to their music, you know, how they can write a song and you put it on and you feel something spiritual about. So I think that's the direction I want to take myself. And I'm just like going back and, you know, revisiting those musics, that kind of music that, you know, inspired me. So it's a combination. Yeah.
Have you like tried to sample any of the music, like Oliver and Tukudzi and them, just to put in your own flavor type of music as well?
Not yet. I'm going there. So the interesting thing for me is, you know how people do cover for songs. You know, that's a great way for an artist to get out there, people to get to know you. But also, I always find that mimicking someone else's voice in a world where you're trying to find your own kind of like can set you on a different path. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think I've been trying to understand my sound, my vocal capability, blah blah blah, and with the direction where I'm going, I'll be able to tap into those influences and figure out authentic ways on how I can remix or, you know, incorporate what they've done into my style of music as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably get asked this a lot, right? What song would you pitch to like a potential investor or just your fans? In other words, what is your favorite song out of all songs that you have created and you've produced?
That's a tough one. That is bad.
If I came, if I asked you, Kim, I said, okay, I meet you in the street and you're like, I'm Kim of Diamonds, and I'm like, I've never heard of you. So what song would you say? You know what? I'm gonna hit you with this song. Do you know what I mean? This is who I am.
I think I'd pull out Hot Go. Yeah, that one. Okay. I don't know, like it was produced by the Big Banger from Zambia. I don't know what spices it did on some of the chords or the instruments, but there's something about that song that even when I listen back to it myself, I'm just like, there's some vibes in there. And it seems to be how other people feel as well. So I think that would be the song that I would pitch. Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
I think one of my favorite songs that you did was with Sonye, Fix You. I think that is such a beautiful song. You guys had so much chemistry doing that song, and every time I listen to it, it just takes me to a whole different journey. I love my music, so every time I listen to that song, I'm just like in a whole different world, and I'm in love with the sound of it. I'm just in awe with that song.
That.
Yeah,
I like that. Funny, I'm actually performing that on my next gig on the 27th of November. Wow. Yeah, I'm performing that. People have said they liked it, so I was like, I might as well do it live. I haven't really performed it live.
Plug it, man. Where are you performing it? What's the venue? And once again,
I am performing. Let me dive in. I'm performing at Starmag on the 27th of November. That is in the Longway. Make sure you're there. I'm going to be performing alongside Kelvin Sings, Pixie, and how can I forget? Praise Umali. Yes, so make sure you come through. Event is called Hitwave. Last party before the rain comes through. So
hey, man,
planning ahead.
The heat before the rain, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, precisely.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
One Tally, what's your favorite song of mine? What would you say? I'm you, Freddie. I'd like to know. I want to see where you guys' heads are at.
Whoa. Listen.
She's putting you on the spot now.
She has.
You know what I mean?
I know she did. I
like the one you say, you love what you doing to me. That one.
Yeah.
That one is very catchy to me.
hot though.
No,
Yeah.
it's very catchy to me.
That was the song I was gonna say, honestly. And now I'm looking like I looked at his exam. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This
You
guy.
totally do.
But Fix You is also a sick song, to be fair. You know, anything Sonya touches turns to gold. Do you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
and
Midas
you know,
touch.
the standards.
Petty is good.
The standards that for Sonya is on a different level. He's like one of those artists. He's on a different level, right? But you brought it to him as well. So he brought the standards, but you brought it to him as well, and it was like, yo,
those synergy. I love those situations. Honestly, those are like it's easiest to work in that environment. You know.
You get me. Yeah, man. I hear you.
And the fact that your music, the message on your music as well, you know, a lot of people just put like cars, money and stuff, but you focus on just capturing the heart, which is so beautiful about your music as well. You don't care about all talking about cars, money and stuff. You don't put none of that. You focus on love, you know, trying to hit someone in the heart so you can actually sit down and actually listen to it and actually feel good. And that's something that's amazing as well.
It's like a beautiful
serenade. But it is still on my to-do list. Maybe I ain't got the cars yet, you know. So when the cars start coming in, you just might hear it changing the lyrics, you know. But thank you so much. I think it's so important for me to like express my life journey, because usually I'm like a closed off person. On a normal conversation, I won't really open up to you. But if you listen to my songs, you can get a hint into, you know, what's going on in my head mentally, or how I'm feeling, or how I see things. So I'm glad you feel that way. It means a lot.
Exactly. That's the important
part. Thank you.
Again, all right. So you dropped, first of all, a song titled "With Love from Malawi," right? But also it was in the album "With Love from Malawi," right? Now, my first question was, what was the concept behind it, right? Seeing as that you have, you know, been raised in Zimbabwe, you went to the UK, then you came back to Malawi. Why did you feel that you had to drop an album like this, you know?
I think I'm like generally obsessed with singing about Malawi. I think I have like 2 other songs where I'm just like Malawi this, Malawi that, and it's all to do with the lake as well. I don't know what the connection is, but I don't know. I had this idea to do like a love letter kind of concept behind the music, and the way that it came together wasn't entirely planned. It kind of like just fell into place. One day I was in the studio with CK. I sent him something that I'd written and I wanted him to produce something around it. And he did. And Virtue, my friend, he also came through and he listened to it. I was like, yo, you know, you want to add a verse? And he said, cool. And it did. And it sounded so good. I think one of the first songs we did was Take My Time or With Love From Malawi. Between those two. And from there we said, you know what, why don't we just, you know, do a whole project together? And Virgil's like, yeah, cool, let's do that. And I think we kind of recorded it over a period of like 2 weeks, a week or two. It didn't even take long. Went in the studio, we laid it down, and then we're like, okay, what should we call it? We decided to go with the love letter concept to the world. We're kind of like marketing Malawi. We want people to wonder what Malawi is all about. Because if you come across the title, With Love from Malawi, it sounds like a postcard. You know, usually you send out a postcard to someone and you say, hey, this is where I'm at, this is how I'm doing, with love from such a place. So it was interesting to say, what if it was with love from Malawi? And I took that concept further to printing some actual postcards that have like some of the images. It was exciting to do some of the images from the music video. There's a music video for it, so please do check it out on my YouTube channel, Kim of Diamonds. So I just took a couple of pictures from that music video and turned that into a postcard style of merchandise. And that's the concept. I want people to wonder what Malawi is about when they hear it, when they see it.
I've actually seen the video. It looks so R&B-ish, like 2000 R&B-ish type of music. And I was just there. I was in awe. I was just there looking at it. I was like, this looks so good, because that era had beautiful music, and that's what. So that's what when you see that video, that's what you see when you see that video is 2000 R&B music.
I feel it.
So did you go? Yeah.
Go ahead. What did you say?
So you went with that. You just like is that a theme that you're going with, or did it just happen?
He wasn't the official theme that we're going with. I think it's something that just happened. That's Manifest who shot that music video, and I think they're really good with the color grading and the shots and stuff like that. So I think it just pieced together very well without. We didn't intend for it to be that way, but it came out in that very bright colored "Come to Malawi" vibe, which is, I think, R&B for sure from 2000. I hadn't connected it like that actually, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
it's like summertime in Malawi. Come through.
yeah.
It's this beautiful. It's bright and sunny. You will enjoy it. That's what it looks like.
I love that exactly.
With Love From Malawi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like if you don't remember anything else, you remember that
That's
line.
the catchy part. That's the catchy
Yes.
part.
I'll be loving you with love for Malawi, love for Malawi, love for Malawi, baby, baby, ooh. I'll be loving you with love for Malawi, love for Malawi,
baby.
love for Malawi.
Malawian version of Bonnie and Clyde, my ride or die, super.
Oh man, no, that's pretty sick still. So you spoke about not getting into a box. You obviously you said you when you were starting to forge a career in Malawi, right?
Mm-hmm.
You felt a lot of Malawians were like, oh, she doesn't sound Malawian, or you should be sounding like this, which I can relate to. So I wanted to ask, right, what was the challenge you faced, right, getting recognition from the Malawian crowd? What did you have to do, and what were the challenges facing?
I think the big challenge was, okay, what does Malawian music then sound like if I don't sound Malawian, but which is quite understandable. Like I said, I grew up in a different, country, and I think where you grow up definitely influences your musical taste or musical direction. So one of the biggest things was, I guess, not really convincing people that I'm Malawian, but being consistent in releasing the kind of music I naturally lean forward, towards. Because if I sit back and say, I want to create a really Malawian sounding body of work, what does that sound like? Because everyone interprets the world differently. I might be Malawian, you're Malawian, but you interpret things differently. And it's the same thing that we see in art. The same concept can be interpreted in like literally a million ways, and it's still, you still call it art. You know what I mean? So for me, one of the biggest challenges was definitely being consistent in putting it out there that this is me, this is the kind of music I do, this is the kind of lyrics I write, this is the kind of vibe I'm moving through. Because also music is a journey. The music that I started doing is not the same kind of music that I'm doing now. So I think one of the greatest not obstacles, but challenges, exciting challenges, was me staying true to myself and defining what the Malawian music means to me, and in terms of how I want to sound like as a Malawian artist. Because I think everybody's bringing something to the table, and it's also the same trend that we're seeing in other countries, be it in Nigeria, or in Ghana, in Kenya, in Tanzania. There's so many genres in there, and I don't think people are really caught up to say you don't sound Tanzanian enough. It's more of how are you bringing your identity and culture into the music that you're creating and fusing it in a way that points back to home, So I think everyone is experimenting, and so am I. I'm still here. So, but people are starting to pick up to say, oh, you sound better this way with the Afro R&B or the acoustic. So I'm taking some of that feedback as well and combining it with the direction I want to take and creating whatever the vibe is when you come see me live or my next single. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I was more than satisfied.
I actually have one more question before I pass you to Fred. One more question, right? So you in an interview with Infused Mag, you said you're a writer, of course. You love writing music, and also in the genres you mentioned. One of the genres you mentioned, obviously, there's Afropop. You mentioned in there R&B, but you mentioned rap. I was like, wait a minute. I've only heard you rap once. So I think on that there was one live video you have on YouTube. I've only heard you rap once. So what kind of bars are we talking about here? You know what I mean?
Yo, first of all, okay, if you have to pick a fighter when it comes to writing rap, don't pick me necessarily because it takes time.
Yeah.
Rap is like maths, you know, for me. When it comes to writing the other genres, man, I can write a song in 15 minutes, in 20 minutes, in an hour. With rap, it's like I kind of have to sit back and think, okay, from here, where am I taking this? You know what I mean? So it's something that I haven't really been practicing. Because as a writer, as a rapper, you have to practice. It's a muscle you have to grow out. So I haven't really focused on growing out my rap muscle. But, you know, if I have a solid verse or I listen to a beat and I like it and it kind of throws me into the rap side, I could cook up something and you just might like it because it won't be your typical heavyweight rap. It's just, you know, having fun with it and enjoying it, because I think rappers have the most fun. They don't have to do any vocal exercises like singing low key or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just vibes and flow and delivery. So I really, one of my favorite genres is definitely rap artists. I think they have the most fun. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Interesting. You know, we should be expecting a rap song from King of Dallas soon. You know what I mean?
2023.
Rap album.
I thought we're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna have a rap battle here.
Whoa!
I thought that was what was coming up. Too soon. All right.
I'm glad
I'm gonna be on your side, Kim. Either way.
Oh, is it? Give me a heads up next time. If I was
now you're putting one tally on the spot.
Recycling. Come again, Freddie.
Putting one tally on the spot now.
Says you're putting me on the spot. Oh my gosh. No,
maybe
man.
you should drop something.
No, it's all about Kim of Diamonds today, man. Come on.
True.
What an excuse, you know. Okay, fine.
I might do it off air. Don't worry, I'll do it off air. It's fine. All
right. I'm just gonna jump into the next question. You know, one of the interviews you mentioned, you know, the industry in Malawi, the music industry in Malawi is mostly male dominated.
Yeah.
And you recently, I think you performed Platform 9 Lodge, an all females venue. How was it like just to be like performing with just females only, like you know, going not having any male to actually jump in? Was it competitive type of thing? You know, when females are there, was it competitive, like I want to do better than her, or was it just basically just showcasing your talent?
What was the vibe, man? It must have been sick.
I can't really speak for everybody, but I wasn't there to compete. It didn't feel like a competitive environment. I don't know if it's like a feminine energy or something that was there at the time. It just felt more of like you're standing in a circle and you're like focusing on someone in the middle. No, you like you're that connected. It wasn't more of individuals standing here. I hope you get my analogy. Yeah. That's the overall vibe that was at Platform 9 when it was an all-female lineup. It felt absolutely amazing having Luki, Teresa, Esther. I personally love watching other artists. Like if you see me at a festival, at a concert, man, I'm gonna be in the front stage. I don't care. It's like that's Kim of Diamonds. Nah. Right now, I'm just Kim. So it was one of those where I enjoyed performing, yes, but I really enjoyed listening to other female artists singing, owning the stage, and just connecting with the people. It's the kind of experience that inspired me to say, I want to continue this. I want to do this on a bigger scale. I don't know exactly when, but it's an idea that's definitely, I don't know, growing in me. We need to do more of that because it really is a male-dominated industry. If you look at the poster lineup for the weekends, for like events, it's like 12 artists and 10 are male, if not 11 are male, and there's like one female.
That's true.
It's insane. So I don't know. I think moving forward, we need to have more events like those, all female lineups, but also a good mixture in other events as well.
Yeah,
it was amazing, basically.
Good. Very good.
That's very good. Just to come up with a question similar, would you compare yourself performing alongside Teresa and Esther, etc., to Sauti Soul and Major Lazer? What is was it the same type of
Yeah.
energy?
So
or-
yeah. What would I think? What Fred's trying to say is, how do you compare the two? You know, here you're on an all girls show. Yeah, girl power in a huddle, and then you're going to perform alongside Major Lazer and Sauti Soul. How would you compare the experience, the feeling between the two?
Let's see where to even start. I think with the all female lineup, it was like, what can I say? It felt like church. You know, you don't go to church to show off. You go to church to connect, to catch up, to, for the vibes, basically. And so that energy is definitely different because it didn't give me too much pressure to say, yo, I'm performing alongside Sauti Soul, Major Lazer, other international artists, Faith Musa, even people from right at home who are like, big artists. Yeah. So the energy of going to perform on the same stage as Sauti Soul or Major Lazer and the likes of Faith Musa was like a lot. And usually with that kind of pressure, you don't really remember how it went. I won't lie to you because you come up that stage.
Did you not want to pass out?
You do want to pass out. Like sometimes, I swear, it's like you come up stage, your limbs are shaking because you were nervous, right? Yeah. But you got into it, and then your adrenaline went all the way up, and you loved it, and you didn't want to get off the stage. But now you come off stage, and you are kind of like listening to what people thought about your performance. So it's like crazy. So. Yeah, that was the experience. That was Laker Stars, actually. That was Laker Stars. Ooh. Yeah, but it was good pressure. King of Diamonds, pressure with Diamonds.
Yeah.
So there you go.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. So both events had their own pressures, I think, definitely. Because you also realize that there's some people who attend those kinds of events to kind of measure you up against other female artists, to say who's better, who's singing better, who's performing better. So I don't know how they felt, but from my side of things, the pressures were good. Both pressures were good for me.
Okay. Now go. Sorry, before you go to the next question, going back to that performance that you had with Teresa and Esther, at the all girls concert, right? Sorry, I keep going to this because these are things that really do not happen a lot in Malawi, right? Should we expect new material? Since you've performed together, are we going to hear some, some all female material? Yeah, man, I'm trying to get you
hinting.
What do you think I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get
Why not?
Hint.
That's something that we have spoken about doing. It's just that all that's left is literally calling someone up and saying, yo, are you free on Saturday? I'm at such and such a studio. I have this song. What do you think you might like? Come through. Are you free? So now it's just a matter of liaising schedules. But we definitely want to do it. I would love to do something like that in 2022. So I can't promise anything, but yeah, keep an eye out on 2022. Let's see what goes on.
Come on,
next year.
You heard it first right here.
Feed the streets, man. Feed the streets. Let's go. Come on.
You also mentioned that one of your goals is to dominate the world. And how are you planning on doing that? Is this girl power involved?
When I think of dominating the world, when I think of dominating,
so what you did there, man? Come on.
When I think about world domination, I think it's a different definition for everybody. When I think of world domination, for me, I'm thinking more of being able to be in a space where creatively I can execute my ideas without having to say, oh, I can't because of money issues or connection issues or network issues. Do you know what I mean? So when I think of world domination, and when I say I want to dominate the world, it means that through my journey as a singer-songwriter, as an artist, but also in the job that I'm currently at, I'm really excited about making long-lasting relationships with people. I feel like relationships are everything, especially when you want to be successful, when you want to be wealthy, when you want to feel fulfilled in whatever field that you're in. So world domination for me is more of I want to permeate the world as much as I can through music and creative works, by creating meaningful relationships with people and being able to do projects that have never been done before, being able to work with people from the other side of the world thanks to technology. I basically want to put my touch. Whatever I touch, I wanted to set a standard. I have this, what can I call it? A creative agency that's yet to get off the ground called the Diamond Standard. So world domination for me
Wow.
means everything that I'm doing. Right. So I think
Love
to
this.
sum it up, when I think of world domination, I'm thinking of the Diamond Standard. Everything I'm doing, I wanted to have a certain quality, a certain je ne sais quoi, as they would say, to the overall touch. Yeah, and that should be my passport around the world. So, hey, world domination in different
Come on.
meanings, I'd say.
Come on. Sweet, man.
Powerful.
I read in one of your blogs, right? You wrote about understanding the importance of basics, such as just distributing music online. Do you feel like a lot of artists are missing out on the opportunity to get their music out there because of not being able to understand how it works?
Yo, that conversation is like multifaceted. You know what I mean? Like there's no one answer without going into like 10 other avenues. But I do think, no, for real, like, because at the moment I'm reading on the music scene in the East African region. I read about Tanzania, about Rwanda, Kenya, and some of the challenges that they're facing is also the same kind of challenges that Malawi is facing, which is that there is massive gaps in terms of be it people knowing about signing up on distribution platforms, especially those in African countries. And to add on that, there is the barriers of financial inclusion. Not everybody has a bank, and yet you need a bank to be able to transact online. So if we want to have more Malawian artists to reach a wider audience using Spotify, Apple, and all these other platforms that have come into Africa, we need to make the payment system much more accessible for them. And that's something that we're starting to see now. We've seen TNM coming in with their virtual card, and that allows you to be able to make payments online. So I think what's missing a lot is people who are going to say, I'm going to stand up in this industry and take this angle. We need record labels. We can't function without record labels, but that's something that we don't have in Malawi. But that's also something that needs serious investment. So who's going to make the investment when the country thinks music is like a hobby and it's like something you only do when your options, you run out of options? So it's as you, like I said, it's like a lot of interwoven factors into the whole thing. But for me, I would say to my fellow artists who might be listening to say, we have to take up space. No one is coming to save us. No one is even thinking about putting Malawi on their touring dates, And it's so sad because they'll go to South Africa, they'll go to Zambia, and they'll skip Malawi. And it's like, but we love music. What's going on? So
That's
I think
true. That's very true.
They don't know what they're missing.
Exactly.
They really don't know what they're missing. And I think for a long time, maybe in the Malawian music industry, we haven't really had people who are passionate enough to say, I am going to start a record label. As an artist, I'm going to start an intellectual property company. I'm going to start an entertainment law agency, just specifically focusing on all these different elements that are needed for you to have a successful career in music. For Malawi, we have the talent, but we don't have the channels to really churn it out for the international market to really hear it. And we need, guys, this is a big conversation. We need Kosoma, you know what I mean? Like, we need Kosoma to also step up their game. And we also need the formation of other companies that focus maybe specifically on performing rights, or you get the picture. There's so much work we need to do. But for the general artist, I'd say look up DSPs, distribution. What are they called again? Distribution platforms. Yes. Okay. They're pretty affordable. Yeah.
Okay.
Did I answer your question though?
Yes, you did.
I will stick to this part. I'll stick to the part that you've just mentioned. We actually had this into the next question. If it feels like you're repeating yourself, it's fine. But it's a very, very key quote you made in Enthused Mag, basically. It's quite a long quote, so bear with me. You said, look, I would focus on investing in the technology that protects musicians and helps them make more money locally and internationally. I would want to see more passionate and forward-thinking people in the industry who respect each other and support each other without thinking about the fame or popularity too much. I would also want to see safe spaces for women and girls to operate in without fear of sexual harassment or gender bias or discrimination. This is what you said on Enthused Mag, right? So basically, my question here is the Malawian music industry ready to facilitate this? And how can this be achievable? I think it'd be more on the protecting girls and the harassment side, because I think you've made quite a good assessment on the financial side as well. So is it ready? Is it ready to facilitate?
Is it ready? I think a question of readiness really, oh man, I don't know. Again, depends on a lot of things. On an individual level, there's this massive information gap, and yet we're living at a time when you can access any kind of information. If you're interested to find out more on intellectual property, you can just as easily Google or sign up for an online course or whatever. But then again, other factors that come into play are payment issues, but also economic issues. As an artist, how do I start a business in an economy that doesn't really support artistry, from a law point of view or from an infrastructure point of view? I can't start somewhere, but there are all these other massive gaps that are in there. Now, with economic issues, as a female artist, if I don't have a job and I need to record my music, and I'm talented, I'm gifted, I might find myself in a situation, I'm sure there's some who have found themselves in a situation where a producer is, they'll say, yo, I can produce for you, for free, no worries. And you're like, oh, that's so nice of you.
That's amazing.
Great, let's link up. And you do link up, right? You go to the studio, you record 2-3 songs. After that, the person now is starting to make moves and I kind of like you. And it's like, we were just working, you know what I mean? Like,
we were homies.
Can't mix it.
We're friends. We're supposed to be colleagues,
What's going on?
Those kinds of things actually happen, and they, if someone is coming onto you and saying that they like you, and you're recording with them, in some situations that might influence the overall product. You might never even finish recording the song, or rumors might go out there. That person might decide to tarnish your name. So I think there is more need to fix those other elements to do with the economy, so that people don't find themselves in a position where they're getting taken advantage of. Because at the end of the day, sometimes, people do kiss ass. I don't encourage it, but sometimes people end up falling into traps that they wouldn't want to be in, but they in their heads, it's a sacrifice they're willing to make in order for them to go to the next level. Do you know what I mean? So we need to help women have more economic empowerment. We need to see gender equity happening across the board, because the entertainment industry doesn't exist in isolation. So we can't just say out of nowhere, this is the new environment. I mean, we could, but it would take so much work. We need all the supporting sectors to also provide equality and equity for all genders, especially women, in the music industry. If I want to take a loan, maybe I might come across someone in the banking industry who wants me to sleep with them before I give. Like, these are like real life situations that do happen, and it's one of those things where the what can I say? The landscape is changing, but we still have a lot more work to do.
Yeah, it's
Did I answer your question, or I just went ahead and preached?
No, you did actually. You did. It's very important to facilitate the financial freedom side of it, because it
is
for many artists, especially females. Do you know what I mean? If they have the financial freedom, they can go, to hell with you. I'm gonna go and get someone who can actually professionally accept my my services and I accept theirs in a very paper
Professional
trail
manner.
and professional manner. So it makes sense. It makes sense, but also
It does make sense. Yo,
yeah.
let me not lie to you. Like you have people who are ready to take advantage of you if you are like a
Yeah.
female artist, be it for booking you for an event
Yeah.
or involving you in an event, or
Yeah.
sometimes you have people spreading rumors about you that are not even true, and you don't even know it, and you're wondering like why are the deals not even coming my way or whatever, not knowing someone is out there, tarnishing your name. So I really believe in self-sufficiency. As an artist, I'm personally striving for independence in terms of how I'm making my music. That's why I have my own website, because I want people to be able to directly get my music from my website. And the rest of it is like wanting to own your own machine that allows you to be more effective in doing what you love without having to think about sexual harassment or someone blocking your path or whatever. So yeah, that's the way that I see it.
World dominance.
Interesting.
World dominance. Okay.
Everything is falling into place now.
Exactly.
It's falling into place. Yeah.
Okay, so in the same interview with Enthuse Mag, right? You mentioned that you're inspired by Netflix. The way you make your music, you're inspired by watching Netflix series.
Yeah.
I didn't really grasp that. Like, how the hell do you get inspired? I'm there watching Narcos, and I'm thinking, well, what am I going to rap about?
What is going on?
Plato or promo, I'm there. Yeah. So
yeah, I feel you.
How does it work?
Uh-huh.
How does it work, and what came out of it? Basically, the first time you did it, or the many times you've done it. How productive is
I've done it a couple of times, and like you said, if you're watching Narcos, right, and just say one of the main characters says a super cool line, that's it for me. That's like, did you guys hear that? It's like everyone else like, hear what? I swear, I think you can relate to that one time.
Yeah,
right? You can totally relate to it.
I
Someone
can
says something so basic, but to you it's like, oh my god, that is the lyric to my next song right there. And so it happened when I was watching The Witcher. I don't know if you guys have checked out The Witcher.
Yeah, of course I have.
Yo,
Brilliant.
Wow. Me, I'm waiting for the second season.
Wait a minute.
I can't wait as well.
Wait a minute. How did you gather inspiration from The Witcher to make a song exactly? I mean, apart from the love part, if you go for the love part, that's an easy answer. Let's go for the love part.
What happened? Which song was it? It was the scene when the girl who has superpowers is burning out the city. I don't know if you guys remember that. She's
the
like,
one that
I don't know if she was angry or whatever was happening. She was like an inferno. So the whole city was just bursting with flames. And I can't remember the song now. I haven't recorded it, but I know that I wrote a whole song. It made me cry, I believe, because it was like so emotional when I was watching that particular scene, and I'm a crier. So I just took that emotion.
It's okay. It's fine.
So I just took that scene and I combined it with my own personal experience, my interpretation, and wrote a song from it. It's happened a couple times as well. Last week it happened with, I was watching Sex Education. I don't know if you guys have watched that as well.
I love that show.
Is it you have it?
I love
tried
that
it
show.
A couple episodes.
It's hilarious.
But
It's witty.
I love it. Freddie, maybe it's not your cup of tea, but Vanessa, yes.
Yes,
there was
right?
a line. Have you finished watching it?
All of it. Finished it in a week.
So you remember one of the final episodes? Wow, a week. Shout out to you. It's taking me time. So one of the final episodes, when now I have to remember names, guys. Damn. I remember lyrics to words to songs, but sometimes names are like, what is that thing? Maeve. Remember Maeve?
Maeve. Yes, the girl
Maeve,
with the purple hair.
With the purple hair. So she finally decides, she kisses Otis and it's all a mess now. And then she goes back to the caravan place and then she meets that guy. What's his name again? Is it
the guy in the wheelchair?
The guy in the wheelchair, I've forgotten his name. And then she meets him, and then she basically tells him, I don't know what she said to him, but he said to her, I'm taking my heart off the table. Something like that. I paused it. I grabbed a pen.
Yes.
I wrote it down and I said, God damn.
Yes. That is it.
You remember that scene, right?
I remember.
He tells
that
her,
scene.
I'm taking my heart off the
Off
table.
the table. Yeah.
This woman sees music in a different way, man.
Wow.
It's insane. Let me check for the actual lyrics, you guys. I just have to.
Okay,
I
well,
actually wrote it down.
while she is checking the lyrics, guys, if you enjoyed this video, smash a like. Remember to subscribe as well, guys. We have Kim of Diamonds, one of the Malawian songbirds, man. Come on, you have to show some love for this lady, man. Come on.
Press those likes. And also,
Press those
please
likes,
go
subscribe.
check out her website as well. There's a lot of stuff you might want to know about her. This is just the surface for scratching.
We've got your
Get
website.
to know me, connect with me. Please do.
Come
So
on.
the lyrics I wrote, I said, this is what the character, they said, I'll take my heart off the table. That's all they said, right? And then they also said, all I know is, and then I was watching Love and Monsters. I don't know if you watched it. It's like a movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
And the guy says he traveled on the other side of like town for a girl who told who told him that I'm not sure if I feel the same way. This guy, I was like,
I know. I've seen that movie.
You've seen it, yeah?
Yeah.
So there's a line where he says, all I know is you feel it when you feel it, talking about love or something like that. So I wrote those lines down, and just this week I managed to write a song with these lines with my friend Paul Kachala, and we just expanded on them. So that's usually the process. Netflix, people, a book, conversation.
Yeah.
Anything can go. Could write a song about
you basically just announced that there's a new track coming out with Coachella right now. So you heard it first here, guys. It's coming in 2022, maybe.
They're just getting it out of you. You know what I mean? I mean, while you lot are Netflixing and chilling, she's Netflixing and then spilling, like, you know what I mean? That's what she's doing.
Montali's spilling bars over here.
I told you I'm gonna hit you with some bars.
Go ahead, do more. We want more. We want more.
No,
we want more.
Hell no. It's Kim's line. It's Kim's line. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Next question. Go on.
So looking at your Instagram page, I noticed you really love like cultural style of clothing, and seeing that you've merged out and collaborated with the likes of Chris Bass on a project. Is the merch available, and how can we get it?
The merch is available. You can order through my website. I am shipping using DHL Express. So it's something that we're getting off the ground right now. I had to fix up a few things with my website, but everything is ready. I'm into Malawian fashion designers. We have some amazing Malawian fashion designers, guys. It's insane. There is Chris Bass. You've seen Creative Bass, basically. We also have Wari. We have Zandria. We have Lily Afonso. Like, it's insane. So for me, I love discovering new African fashion designers, Malawian ones specifically, to work with. And there's going to be more merchandise coming out on my website. That's the website right there. We're just starting with t-shirts right now. I'm wearing one of the ones that we collaborated with Creative Bass. So we called it the Diamond Bass. We're very proudly African, proudly Malawian.
I like that.
Yeah, that's really nice.
You like that message? Yeah, and I think it's what a time to be alive, honestly, as an African person. We're much more prouder now than we were then. So keep an eye out for more African-inspired merchandise. And that's all my music right there. It's free. Some of it is free. Some of it you got to pay. And check me out.
Support Kim, man. So quickly take us through the website. Quickly take us through. You said there's a music section, and then you've got, obviously, you showed your merch. Yeah, and some of your merch on here. So this is where people can get the events you're going to, is it? Or the
that
events
are coming up.
Okay.
Yes. So there's the merch store where we have both CDs, digital music, and the merchandise. That T-shirt over there, we have black, yellow. Is it yellow? We have black, yellow, white, couple of colors in there. If you click it, yeah, we're shipping through DHL. The other ones are just basically songs you can download.
All right, let's go.
That's the Love from Malawi music video, by the way. So those are the
that video is so amazing. I swear that video is so amazing. I was looking at it and I was like, the graphics in this.
Oh, that was Manifest, you guys. That was Manifest. They are amazing.
That's the Manifest. Okay.
Manifest. So that's the merch section. Do check out my YouTube channel, like I said. And that's it. More merchandise coming out. Some collaborations with fellow fashion designers in Malawi, and other things are going to be my own ideas, things I've always wanted to try out. So yeah, keep an eye out. Cool. I love African prints and everything, so it's hard to not want to create something along those lines. Yeah.
Once again, what's the link for the website? How do people get to your website? What's it called?
KimofDiamonds.com. It's pretty much Kim of Diamonds everywhere, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever. If ever you're on any social media platform, if you look for Kim of Diamonds, that's my name right there. Yeah.
Sweet. Wow, that's dope. That's dope. I've got a question for you.
Go on then.
Okay, so every artist most artists have a message, you know. What do you think is your message as an artist? What message are you trying to give out? And what drives you to do what you do?
My main message, I think, is self-love. I think as we go through life, we'll always have relationships, we'll always go through ups and downs, and it's so easy to forget to love yourself, to be kind to yourself, to value yourself, you know, and to really give yourself the love you wish other people gave to you. So I feel like that's the angle where I'm at through my performances. Even when people come to watch me live, I want them to get that message more and more. I want people to reconnect to who they are. I think there's great power in self-love. It allows you to walk away from things and people that no longer serve you, even when it's a hard decision, because it is going to be tough, obviously. But like, if you love yourself to that point where you say, I don't deserve this kind of stress. And I read something somewhere. It said, you don't get a badge for suffering. And I said, wow.
You just get these quotes, eh?
I'm just reading through life, you know. I'm just like, yo, that sounds good. That sounds deep. That was, and when I came across that quote, like, it made me assess myself to say, I do have a tendency to overextend myself to the point of suffering, but you don't really get a reward for it. But everyone is trying to be good. Everyone's trying to be perfect. Everyone's trying to be, but it's like, you know what? You don't actually get any reward for allowing yourself to suffer, meaning that you have to choose your battles. You have the choice to say, this is causing me stress. I can leave it. If it's a relationship, if it's a situation, at the end of the day, you are the most important person in your life. If you are not the most important person in your life, then what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, you are the star player. You have to act like it, and you have to make decisions that keep you as the star player in your life. You know what I mean? So that's the message I would say is, you know, in my music mostly. I'm always like, I'm running away, here to tower. I'm selfish like that. You make my heart go. I'm like a queen. You know what I
mean? Oh my gosh! No, that's
Kim. You joined Her Liberty because I've been seeing it a lot on your Instagram as well. You joined Her Liberty in a live commemoration on 2020, who are involved in training and equipping young people on policy and advocacy and leadership to ensure that they are leading the change they want to see in their communities. What is your role in this as a recording artist?
Well, I think that was one of the questions that they asked us at the place, you know, like, okay, so you're part of this big conversation. Great, but what are you doing about it? Like, on a much more individual basis, which was very powerful for me, because I've always had some ideas to say how I want to play a role in implementing the kind of change that I want to see in the creative industry in Malawi. It's something that is slowly taking shape right now, but I would say the role that I want to play is facilitating workshops, songwriting. I want to find a niche that I can cater to, mostly to do with songwriters, mostly to do with young Malawian artists who are looking to be it to sing better or to find their own path in the music industry. Because we have this massive gap where we don't have school of music, we don't really have school of arts. So most of the time, a lot of young artists have to DIY it. I'm still DIYing it, and I'm still trying to figure out streaming. Do you know what I mean? So for me, like honestly, I am. So for me now, I want to like make that journey shorter for the next generation of Malawians. They shouldn't have to go round in circles the way that I did or the way other people did. That's why I was saying earlier, we all have to play a role as artists, as songwriters, as producers. We have to say, I'm going to take this angle. We can't all do the same thing, and it can't be about popularity. It can't be about fame. We need entertainment agencies in Malawi. We need more people to go in there. We need more record labels. So I'm looking to fill some of those angles. I can't really talk much about it until you guys can see it. I don't want to jinx it, but just to give you, you know, a background on where my head is at in relation to the question that you've asked me, Freddie. I'm looking to do a lot more, and maybe just to tie into this, my current new job is A&R for NIVAC, an organization called NIVAC. It's a non-profit organization, and it's focusing on bridging the gap that we're talking about here, providing platforms for artists in Africa and other regions to be able to make money. So to be able to make money, to be able to make music, for them to own their journey of music. So it's a great position for me to be in because it ties into what I just spoke about, what I want to do, which is to fill in those gaps where you provide assistance to other young artists or other young creatives. So keep an eye out. I'll be posting some stuff. Like right now, MTV is looking for unreleased music submissions from the African region in the genre of, what is it, Afrobeats, Afropop, and Amapiano. So if you have unreleased music in those categories, the deadline is the 15th of December. Hit me up. I am your girl. There's a whole little document that you have to go through. So
go on.
Yeah.
Come
so
on.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Bring it.
Of the African music industry. Yeah.
Absolutely, Kim. I mean, look, what you're doing for music, Malawian music as well, that's pretty impressive. I mean, I remember like 8 years ago, if not 10 years, you probably will not remember this, but on Twitter, we're actually speaking on Twitter, and you were like, listen, if you got any music, send it to me. Like, you didn't know who I was, right? I know who you were, but somebody connected us. I said, listen, if you got music, send it over, and, you know, that needs to carry on. In Malawi, that tradition needs to carry on. Look, you're doing music, I'm doing music, I'll support whatever you're trying to do. To add to that, I'm gonna sort of enlighten anyone who's watching that's an artist thinking I can't pay for my music to be distributed on online streams. You can now do it for free on certain platforms. All right. What that means is they take 20% of your earnings, but you get 80% anyway. So if you're feeling like you cannot distribute your music because you can't afford it, there are now platforms that are allowing you to do it for free. You know, we're talking Apple Music, Spotify, and everything like that. So get your music out there. That's what I would say. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So Kimmy, back to you.
What am I saying? What's going on? Who's taking over?
I put her in the spot, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
You did. She was like, what's going on?
I could just jump in, but I said, wait, is this a test?
Cool. We definitely have asked all the questions necessary. Fred is going to take you away to the outro now.
Yeah. Before she says the outro, guys, thank you for watching. Please show some love to Kim, who took her time to actually come and join us here on 5Roundz, and we are honored to have you here, Kim. We have learned so much from you, to be honest. Myself personally, I've actually, because a lot of artists actually know when they're doing music, once they get a little fame, they get blinded and stuff. They lose focus on what they wanted to do before. But you clearly know what you're doing and the steps that you're taking. Obviously, King of Diamonds, you go through pressure to make diamonds. So you're basically going through it, and you're learning from whatever whatever challenge you come across. So that's a beautiful thing to pass down to people who want to be musicians as well, to actually pave pave way for them to follow. I would say continue your work, keep on pushing,
Thank you.
and we are all the way in islands, but we can hear you loud and clear. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure in the UK, Wantalis can hear you
You're
as well.
damn
Your
right.
music is everywhere. Keep on pushing, and it's working. Whatever you're doing, it's working. Keep on helping these kids who want to grow as well. So, without further ado,
I got this. The diamonds got this. Okay, beautiful people, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of 5Roundz with this amazing host, Freddie, Vanessa, and Wantali. Make sure you tune in next time again. Keep it hot, keep it locked, keep it hot, you know. Keep it hot, keep it locked. Team of Diamonds, and I'm out.
peace.
Peace. 5Roundz.
Malawian boy.